Hey y'all, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for my reaction video for the Real Housewives of Atlanta after show. It's season 16. This is episode 10. We got part 1 and part 2 of the after show. Now, y'all do know that anytime I do these after shows, it's all reaction based. I play it in the background because I don't want no damn copyright strike. So I just let it play, let the audio play, give my reaction, give you guys my commentary. Now, y'all do know that I normally have these type of videos out every Monday, but y'all already know why I wasn't out on Monday. Because I was in Mississippi, and it could have been out yesterday, but I was too in my feelings yesterday, so I was only able to give y'all the basketball wise review. But I'm here to give you guys the after show, and I have one more video to give you guys right after this, and then any other videos that I do today, they'll be out tomorrow. And I think I'll be doing a live tonight. It just depends, because there's certain things that I want to discuss with you guys on my live. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into some things right now. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this after show, okay? So let's get into it, y'all.
I want to know about this pinky promise.
Shamia and I started to be friends.
Praise God. Okay.
Drew, Shamia, and I going to lunch after, her studio session. And Shamia, I thought she was rather open to us.
She was.
We go to dinner and hang out. Shamia said she had some issues with Portia.
She was being extremely vulnerable. Like she almost needed someone to talk to. She started to say, like, Portia did not come to her wedding. Before she said anything, she was like, well, you have to pinky promise, pinky swear. Was like,
I have my fingers crossed behind my back because I don't know you yet.
First of all,
That's the thing, though, Shamia. You need to keep it a book and stop being a punk, and you need to stop being a pussy. That's just the truth. You gotta stop being a pussy asshole. I mean, sorry, but that's just the truth of the matter. You know you got these issues with Portia. You know that y'all are on a reality show. You know these girls are here to keep their spot. What made you think that that would be okay for you to talk to Angela and Drew about your issues with your friend? If anything, you could have talked to Cynthia about that outside of the cameras, because y'all are actually friends. You and Angela got off on the bad start already, and then y'all trying to rebuild. You've been shading Drew, so therefore she don't really give a damn. So it's just like, at this point, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you ever think that it would ever be okay for you to have a conversation with one of them about your friend? It ain't gonna never turn out right. It ain't gonna never be right. So what are you talking about? So Shamia, you kind of put your foot in your own ass when you chose to do that. Now, all of your claims were not fiction. They were all true. But you chose the wrong people to confide in when you should have been bringing it to your friend a long time ago. But sometimes I try to give you grace with this, because when you've been friends with a person since childhood and you already know how they are, it's kind of hard to really, have those uncomfortable conversations. But baby, we grown. If you hurt me, if you make me feel any kind of way, I'm going to say that. And Shamia, you older than me. I'm just 36. You well into your 40s. You should have been said something to Portia a long time ago. But let's continue, y'all.
Oh, that's public information. Everybody knows that Portia didn't come to my wedding in Kenya. She came to my dowry, which was not a wedding. It was a ratio, which is when you pay a bride price for your bride. That's what she came to.
okay.
She did not come to my wedding in Kenya. Everybody knows about that. Why I would need to pinky swear about that behooves me. I have no clue. I don't like how Angela brought it to the forefront, because she brought it up as if it was like me talking trash about Portia.
Yeah.
I know you and Shamia are super close. When we all were together, she felt like this is kind of like a lopsided friendship.
Wow. I don't need the group to validate my friendship with you. I love you wholeheartedly.
Right.
I don't need them to tell me that you're a good friend to me. I don't need them to tell me you're a bad friend to me, because what I feel for you is what I feel for you. But now that you've put our friendship on this stage to be just attacked, I have no other choice than to say, well, yeah, it was hurtful when you didn't come to my wedding.
For the record.
But Shamia, you got to own up to the fact that you did say those things to those girls. You said those things. And if you never would have said those things, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now had you never said that in the first place. See, you're not taking accountability for your part in this situation. Like, yes, we all know that Portia is fake. We know Portia is phony. We know Portia is not a good friend. Nene said it a long time ago. So we already know all of those things. All those things are facts. But what's also a fact is that you were sitting there discussing your friendship with Angela, who you barely know, with Drew, who you barely like, and you really thought that that wasn't going to get back with just because you did a fucking pinky swear? What world are you living in, and how do you live, and how do you breathe, as Mario would say? Like, what are you talking about? Like, did you really believe that you was going to get away with that? And you know these girls don't like you. You know that. So why on earth would you ever believe that that would have been okay to talk about? It ain't okay to talk about. And you know Portia was going to take that however she wanted to take that shit. You already know that. So, girl, stop it, Shamia. You fucked up. You got to own up to the fact that you fucked up. And that's just what it is. Everything you said was valid, but you should have said it to the valid person. Angela and Drew are not valid people to talk to. That's not taking any credibility for now one of them. But the person that you need to talk to is fucking Portia. And that's the person that you didn't talk to. But let's continue, child. Let's go on and continue on.
No, I did not go to Shamia's wedding in Kenya because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking.
I didn't know that that's the reason why you didn't come. You told me that you were sick.
She did.
Oh, no. Wow, it wasn't just that. It was also, then it was like 3 other excuses. And I'm like, well, which one is it? I'm very much like, let's get to the bottom of it and move forward.
I felt like, well, you guys are good friends. Like, why do you feel
for a
like
long time.
you can't address? I can't imagine.
The fact she needed a pinky promise.
It's giving my inner child needs some healing. I think that's,
good.
because they've known each other since they were children, basically.
So it could be childhood trauma.
I mean, I don't know.
Literally.
I know what it is. It's Stockholm syndrome.
That a diagnosis.
That's what it is.
I do think that it is Stockholm syndrome. And we've all gone through that. I mean, we all deal with those things with family members. We all deal with those things with relationships. There are people in our lives that we know that are toxic for us. There are people in our lives where we know that they're not really good for us and they don't really mean us any good. And we already know this already. We know this, right? But we continuously go back to those people. I know a lot of us have been in relationships where we knew that it was horrible for us, and we knew that they didn't mean us any good. We knew that already. Like, we know that. But it's like, for me, that's why I try not to be so harsh on this situation, but it's still some accountability that need to be taken, especially on Shamia's part. You know what I mean? It's just a friendship that's been going on for ages now. But we got to remember, friendship is not about history. Sometimes there are people that's been in our lives for eons and they're not shit. But then you probably meet people and they've been your friends for 5 years and they are the best type of person that you needed in your life. There's people that I've known for over 20 years or 15, because most of my friends, I've been friends with them since middle school, elementary school, some high school, rolling with the same crowd outside of this YouTube shit. Some of them people are not as they're good people, but they're not the best friends. Some of them, I ain't talking about all of them. Some of them are not the best friends. Like, they fall short on a lot of things. Whereas you have people that I met just a couple of years ago that feed my soul in the way that some of these people that I've known for decades don't feed my soul. That don't take nothing away from them. But these people give me more. Could be because I met them in my 30s. I've been friends with these people, some of them since 5, 6, 10, 12. We grew up together. And sometimes we find ourselves still doing the kiddie shit that we were doing when we met. So I think that's a part of why Shamia is having a hard time with Portia, but she still has some accountability that she needs to take.
Said what Dennis said, which is this music is a revenue stream for me to be able to take care of my daughter, send her to college.
Now, wait a minute, baby. Not to college.
These royalties and the way this publishing is set up, that's going to pay for PJ's whole college.
Now, I do know PJ's college has already been paid for.
Everything was from the heart. and positive and a blessing for them as a family unit.
To me, that was too far. That was off limits.
That was an extent.
Because we all know Portia does very well. She's very successful. And Dennis is successful.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, Pilar is set for life.
She's good.
She's more than good. Drew, you need to worry about your kids. Or you're going through a divorce. So why would you even say that? To me, that was a dig. And being Portia's friend, I felt the need to defend her.
You should have.
This is never to be disrespectful. This was nothing to ever hurt you. This was a blessing for all of us, and for me, at a time where I needed it, right? Because I have to take care of 3 kids. This was an opportunity that I'm also passionate about. And I feel like that was just missed. You'll have a good intention and it's not always received well.
Yeah, I didn't feel like personally that was shade. I really didn't. I felt like that was just, you guys were not in a space, so anything you say is going to be taken in
But
like a
Shamia
dig.
took the message back to Portia and put a little sauce on it.
She was like, send Pilar to college.
Wait, she said that?
Yes, that's what Shamia said she said.
Stop playing.
Yeah, she jokingly said it,
Can
but
you
I just
imagine?
think that,
It's also
That's very
disrespectful to
disrespectful.
Dennis.
Like,
It's crazy how Shamia is like, well, she jokingly said it, but I don't think that was necessary for her to say. But it was absolutely okay for Portia to say that I'll fuck Angela's husband, I'll fuck her husband, I sleep with her man. Like, it's crazy how the rules are different and set up differently for certain people. And I'm over the double standards.
no.
That wasn't the tone.
what bothers me about this group is they get amnesia and forget how they said stuff, what they said.
I hope Pilar goes to Harvard.
Yale, Stanford. She's a bright girl. Why not?
Drew, you better take care of that bill.
I'll report you. I was sending her that bill too, since you got it. You got 5 on it, right?
Oh my God.
I think you spoke that on yourself. Let's all take a reset. Well, at least it ain't your nose falling off.
Thank God. It could be worse. My titties are falling out. Everything's falling
It ain't
off.
your nose falling off and it ain't your wig lifting.
That's all that matters. It could be worse.
It could be worse
Thank
for sure.
God.
At the Bailey Cube, she gave me a whole dissertation of how me and Charles are about to get a divorce and this side baby. And you are going to end up like me, and I pray for you. I'm like, bitch, I'm
Okay,
trying to say
I must have been grilling hot dogs when that happened. I missed that whole thing too.
There seemed to be a lot of misinformation in the room regarding my family life. I in no way can relate to her situation with her husband.
I went through a few months of hell. Police being called numerous times. It just became a really unsafe environment for me.
My husband protects me, just based on the things she's told us about her husband. Charles is a complete opposite.
And my thing is this: don't project your own situations on the other people, Kelly. This is not the way to do that. I like you, girl. I honestly do. But don't project your bullshit onto me. Like, girl, what the fuck wrong with you?
That my husband had a side baby on me. And that's all over the internet. I just told her, I was like, there's a lot of untruths on the internet about you.
Oh, yeah.
And especially about my husband, who's actually known. There's a lot of misinformation about him on there. My husband does not have a side baby. This was a conversation that I had with Wendy Williams. So we were at an event. He was hosting it with Wendy Williams. Now, her husband was in the news for having a baby.
Yes.
So I walked to Wendy. I said, it's only a baby. She was like, have you ever been through that? And I was like, yes, I have. I was mentioning my daughter's father. She in turn took it as though I said Charles. I regret this interaction.
Let me set it up. So you don't know Wendy
At all.
and you see her at an event somewhere and you go up to Wendy Williams. Angela, you go up to Wendy Williams and start talking about the one thing that broke her down.
You're like, I'm gonna be the one.
Right,
to
girl.
hold you
I'm
accountable
gonna be the one to
and
get
save
through.
this
Wendy don't know
marriage.
me, but I'm gonna be the one she gonna listen
Wendy
to.
had just got done cooking with Charles. So I felt like we built a fast rapport.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Her
Okay.
and Charles
Okay.
know each other. It was a cooking event.
Got it.
And her and Charles,
Right.
So you felt a little connected.
And you just
I felt a connection.
and you felt pulled to just
I just
say
felt
it,
like
yeah.
she needed to hear it. And when I said it happened to me, my daughter is 24. She has a brother who's 24 and a half. So her father, he had it with another girl and we were pregnant at the same time.
Wow.
But that was his main girlfriend.
But why you just didn't say that from the beginning? Like, to me, it felt like you allowed those chitter chatters to go along because we all was thinking that Charles had a side baby while y'all was on the break. Like, we all thought that. So why you just didn't clear it up beforehand? But okay, girl.
Oh.
I didn't know, y'all. Don't kick me. Like, I didn't know I was I lost my virginity to him. He was my first, he was my everything. He had a whole nother setup. I didn't know they were still together. I knew he had a baby with her, but they were living a family. Like, I didn't know. When I found out, I was heartbroken. But when I tell you my daughter is the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and then she goes on her big ass platform to talk about it. The way Wendy told the story is as though I looked at Charles and said, him. No, that's not the truth. But the lie lives on.
She told the story.
Yes, she told the story.
Oh no.
So that's where the rumor got it.
Wow.
So now we're getting into part 2 of the after show. And this is probably where I have the most commentary. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all.
At the dinner, Portia says that Dennis was telling her that, you know, Drew was even trying to sleep with him for the beats.
I don't really like husbands right now, by the way, so you may catch some strays.
For what?
Dennis sent me a text message the other day, and he says, I told Drew I wouldn't F her and run me my money.
And he was the one that was like, nah, you ain't got to do all that.
Now they busting it down for the beats.
It's a hell of a song, ain't it?
Buzzing it down for the beats.
Buzz it down for the
street.
Hey, you know me. Like, I like a certain physique. Like, first of all, this is unbelievable.
I've never seen Dennis, so
Have you never
met
met Dennis?
Type.
You've never seen?
No, I don't know anyone's type. I've never seen Ralph, so I don't know.
I've never seen Ralph.
They are the same person sometimes in my head. I'm like,
Oh my God.
Personality-wise, some similarities.
Really?
there,
So
like,
I wouldn't.
in the ballpark.
In the streets,
bust it down for
on
the
the
beats,
beats,
in the sheets,
in the sheets,
in the sheets,
in the streets, in the sheets, in the streets.
To me, when I see Drew, there's no competition. And I'm not saying that to down her in any
If
way.
there is no competition portion, then why the fuck are you so pressed by her then? There's obviously some damn competition. See, Portia got way too much, guacamole on her chip this season. She really do. And I'm gonna need for her to calm the fuck down. Seriously. And Portia's not, and Drew is not ugly. So don't act like she can't give your ass a run for your money, please.
Way. But I'm saying, like, this is who she is. And she's on that level. I'm like the type of person that's trying to get, do. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like that. And they can be likable, which she is very likable to me personally. Mm-hmm. But I had identified her as one of those opportunist type people.
In the sheets.
And you're not an opportunist. Isn't that the reason why you got with Simon in the first place? Because it wasn't because you loved him so much. You got with him because you saw that damn money in the house and a private jet that Fallon had, and you wanted that, so you got with him. But you're talking about opportunist. Portia, shut up. Ain't that the reason why you was with Cordell Stewart? Is because he was a damn ball player and you wanted that lifestyle and you wanted to be a church wife and you wanted to sit down at home and have his kids and sit at home and just cook meals for him and just be around and not have to work. Ain't that the reason why you was married to Cordell? Why was you with Dennis? Because he had a hot dog business and he had money and he could provide for you and your child. Bye, Portia.
Buzz it down for the mother loving beat. You're so petty. No, but that's exactly what she conveyed to me and Ralph.
Wow.
And some of the allegations that he was saying with her, he was a little concerned about the relationship that Drew and Dennis had.
You're telling me that she's out here in the streets?
Do you think that they're romantically linked?
I don't know. I thought she had somebody else that she was dealing with.
Ralph was like, yeah, that furthers my feelings that the milk ain't clean.
We were never sneaking around. That was never, and I want to see this alleged receipt.
So the matching outfits and all that stuff.
Drew, I would be inauthentic if I didn't ask. Are you dating Dennis now? Why? 3 people have said that they saw y'all out at the club. Y'all were booed up.
Stop playing.
Matching.
Not matching. Matching?
Were we matching?
Prom outfits,
Were we matching? First of all, the outfit, my sister-in-law gave me that outfit to wear. Like, it was my sister's outfit.
The same color?
We weren't matching at all.
I would hope that Drew is not busting it down.
And I'm not trying to, honestly, I'm not, because to be clear,
these girls know that Drew is not sleeping with no damn Dennis. I don't even know why they even playing with us right now. Y'all know that girl not fucking Dennis. Y'all know that Dennis not fucking her. Y'all know this already. But this is one of y'all many, many moves to try to make Drew out to be this big ass liar, as if none of y'all ever lied a day in y'all life. Girl, I'm not buying it. Moving on.
I I really like some of Drew's songs.
Yeah.
I don't think the ones that she played for us were her best ones. I feel like, what was I Did It For Me? That's like my favorite one from her.
Really?
Yeah, I love that song. And I know how hard it is to break into this industry. So I want to support her. You know, she's a Black woman, a mom, trying to do her thing. I just feel like she went about it wrong.
I've never strategically planned anything. It was like, okay, I'm working on my music. You know, I'm not sleeping with Dennis. I'm not dating Dennis. I don't want Dennis. Dennis is bro.
Dennis is a great businessman. At the end of the day,
Baby, Dennis gonna make a bag.
That's what you say it's about. With Dennis, he came with the best proposal and offer to your team. But from what I'm hearing, that ain't what happened. It wasn't like he came with the best proposal. You were trying to lay that down for the beats.
Whoa.
I married someone who kind of checks.
Mia, girl, you full of shit. Now you better hope don't nobody say nothing about you and your husband and what you got going on. Because the thing about it is, it's just crazy how comfortable you are with accusing Drew of busting it down for beats and dropping it low for Jesus. But yet you didn't like it when Phaedra was saying that you was busting down on Todd and Candy for Survival. Shamia, stop. For real. You pissing me off. You're clicking, but you're clicking down and you're pissing me off is what you're doing.
A lot of boxes. Famous, attractive, money, all of the things. With that came a lot of women.
Right.
A lot of women.
Marriage is hard.
Then you have groupies.
So was he cheating?
There has been instances of infidelity. When we got married, I didn't expect him to need so much time to cut his single ways. I will say that. I thought when he got married, I'm like, you're old enough. You know what marriage is. Like, we can't do none of that. This is what it is.
Got it.
Baby, the fight of my life.
Wow.
And it wasn't a situation where I sat in it.
Right.
Okay, you gonna do you. I'll be here waiting for you. No, baby, I was on LegalZoom printing out separation agreements like this. You gonna stay over there. And I say that healed. I talk now on the other side because in the beginning when it started in 2017 after he got drugged out of Madison Square Garden. 2017 with Madison Square Garden, that was a very, very rough time. The owner does not like Charles and called security to come escort him out. It was the worst because he was just like, where am I safe? You know, this is where I played 10 years.
Right.
And they did this to me on national television. It wasn't until now I can empathize with him a little bit about being potentially humiliated on national television, right? So now I get it.
Wow.
I get it. And I'm not making excuses for him, but I empathize with him on the humiliation. But after that, you know, I had just had a baby. So we're living our honeymoon life. And he was just like, no, I'm outside. I'm like, oh, you need to go feel good about yourself. And all of the, I like to call throwbacks, his number's been the same for 30 years. They would call, he would answer. You know, I played in it a little like, no, this my husband. Like, do y'all know he married? And then one lady was like, baby, you need to have this conversation with him, not us. I was just like, well, I've never been married before, you know, so that's how. And after that, I was just like, you know what, Charles, go find yourself. Like, go figure this out.
Okay.
And it wasn't because he got drugged out of the game. It was because of what happened to him and who he became after that humiliation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. He
a
wanted
major
to know
crush.
he was still the man. And so it was nothing for him to be like, am I still a man? Am I still a man? You the man, baby. You the man. And I have this idea of my knight in shining armor coming to save me. Like, oh, you waited all your life for me. And then when we get married, it's not that. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
It is such a blessing that you guys got to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And made it, because I know that couldn't have been easy. But
It was not. And for someone to weaponize that.
Maybe you should be a whore in the bedroom so you can keep your man.
And you don't even know me.
And you can't control
at all
another grown person.
Another human being.
Can't. So your only choice is either to accept it or just let him go and let him find his way. And if it's real,
he chose to accept it.
Come
which he
back.
obviously did.
How long did it take? I just wanted a timeline, because I'm 2 years. Was it longer than 2 years? Asking for a friend?
Oh, well, we didn't separate long at all.
See, that's the, thank you.
Do you think if Rob pulled it together, you would be open to reconciling with him? Are you still in love with him?
She is.
I was at a point. Well, I'm always going to love him.
Not love, in love.
No. I was just asking, like, you know, the journey of men getting to that humility and growing. Because I think everyone has that opportunity, and it's some rise to the occasion and some don't. You know, of course you want your family and you want your husband, you want that. But you hope that your husband is able to go through whatever they're going through and arrive whole. Even if not for us to be together, you know, I think it's important for them to be whole for their children and for themselves.
I do think that Drew is still in love with Ralph. I think there is a possibility that she is in love with Ralph still. And in my eyes, it's really nothing wrong with it if she is, honestly. It's really nothing wrong with that. But I think she's still in love with his ass, but whatever.
That was for our children. Like, a lot in marriage does not one size fits all. You know what I mean? What works in your household may not work in my household.
That's why I asked that question, because he has to go on this journey, hopefully in the basement. He, you know, I'm hoping he's down there doing some real work, but it may require more of a separation.
You can't even see me. You can't see me.
And he sees me in the driveway, and it's like a whole thing.
One of my homes I'm putting on the market, and I wanted to invite Kelly over because she has such nice things to say about me and Charles at your Bailey Q. I go through the house, make sure everything looks good. I just want to make it presentable so she can know she had me. I'm a boss.
Was she good as an agent? Did she show the house nicely?
Here's the closet. Yes. Don't beat me up too bad.
Let me see the pool area.
Girl, it's not done. We have a really good rendering of what it could look like.
Girl, the pool don't have no water in it.
Not Richard Pryor.
First of all, let me tell you something. If I'm coming to the house to look, I would at least have like a nice charcuterie board.
That part.
You know, I would have it cool because, bitch, you know, she get hot and I get hot.
All the lights need to be on.
All the lights need to be on.
The water need to be in the pool.
With a floaty or something, you know,
anything.
When you were,
it needs to be appealing.
You want to sell the vision. I just didn't feel like she like sold.
I would have even staged it. Was it furniture there?
Maybe like one or two, like little pieces like this. Listen, we probably should take one of these over there.
That's not okay.
Thank God I bought some champagne for myself. But you know, I wind up splitting.
They didn't
it with
have no snacks for you?
No, girl. You know how they usually have like those like welcome baskets and like. Well, she said it was.
I'm gonna have to talk to Angela. All right,
when I'm saying
we gotta help her or whatever.
I don't know if she wants our help.
I'm not into real estate.
Yeah,
but I like a good investment property.
Yeah,
and had Angela even just opened up to me a little bit, I would have loved to have taken a look at
just take a look at it. Yeah,
and maybe I could have gotten one off her hands.
Yeah,
and then she could have had her wedding.
Yeah.
With everything we got going on with our vow renewal. I know all these houses are in the way, but I really, really, really want to do that.
We'll see.
What's the point of this sister circle if we can't help each other?
Well, I wanted to. That's why, and I wanted to give her feedback, but you know, girl, she takes everything so personal. But anyway, we talked about it. It's not the house for me.
You know, if it's in her budget, she can buy it.
Okay. Come on, budget.
Come on, Chicken Shack.
So you met with Ralph?
Why not? This is what this group does. At least I'm not sleeping with him. Also, I wanted to get some tea.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah. What the hell are you doing in the basement?
When I first met Drew, I proposed to her at 3 months. I was married to her at 5 months. She was pregnant at 8 months. So I would say that I didn't really have an opportunity to really know her. But who she's becoming, I don't like.
Seeing as though, you know, Drew got it out for me.
If you look up the definition of lapdog, I think you will see Shamia's picture.
Yeah, let me figure out what's going on in your world. I honestly empathize with both sides. I'm like, you know, he didn't really look that great when he was with Drew.
You were gone for 3 days. Stop.
You know what? I'm going to appease you.
Where were you?
Tampa.
However, I also know that Drew is a notorious liar. So I'm like, how much of this is fabricated? How much of this did she herself create? Like, what's really going on over here?
But it's really none of your business, though, Shamia. I don't understand why you're so invested, but you're only doing it for Portia, who don't give a fuck about you. You look dumb.
How much of this did she herself create? Like, what's really going on over here?
Shamia's never experienced me lying to her. I despise liars. So it's interesting to have this label, but I feel like it's just something that one of the girls said and everyone got
But it ends up sticking. You know, it ends up sticking, like the whole lapdog thing.
I feel like you have to get to know the person for yourself and not try to carry on someone else's because you think that's going to give you a moment or, you know what I mean? Like, I just want something to say, so I'm going to take what someone else said. I'd like you to bring me a real issue. Someone bring me a real issue and then we can address it.
Ultimately, like, Ralph was basically saying he had never cheated on Drew. The time he took in Tampa was for him to, like, just center himself. Things were on a down spiral, and he just needed time for himself. I'm just paraphrasing. But also, he was definitely, like, adding more fuel to that Drew Ty thing.
God, I have 27 messages.
He was definitely
the
like,
basketball player?
He was like, Drew and Ty are a thing.
No.
They were together. It was very much proven. And he really stood 10 toes down on that.
Who filed?
But you believe what he's saying, and this is a lying ass sack of shit, and you believe what he talking about. But he ain't never admitted to cheating on her. Okay.
I filed first.
And what was your reason for filing?
She had an affair with Ty.
Is that true, though?
Drew told me herself out of her own mouth.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like it was really a thing. I didn't realize that was like a...
You did, because it was all in the press.
I mean, I did, but I didn't.
I'm like, don't do that, because you be keeping up with the blogs, too.
I keep up with the blogs, baby, but it wasn't consistent enough for me to think it was like a real thing.
What I know now is it came from Ralph behind the scenes and partnered up with someone for them to post it and kind of put it out there.
Listen, Ty is that girl. Baby.
But let me
she
just
might be
say,
that girl. She keeps a girl.
Ty is.
She keeps a fly one.
If you're gonna be with a woman, you wanna be with a Ty.
Of course. She likes a baddie.
And she got a bag.
Okay, fine.
So all I gotta say is Shamia is corny. Shamia's pissing me off. She's not taking any accountability for what she does at all. So it's just like, what? So what the fuck is going on here? I don't get it, and I don't understand it, and it's crazy to me. But however, that's pretty much all that I got for this reaction today. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. All right. With that being said, this is your boy Scotty, and I am up out of here, y'all. Until the next video, I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.
It's on some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping, please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dance now, twerking on shit like bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up his dick, bitch a cock goblin. Fuck him in his face, bitch a cock goblin. Attitude bad, but I'm better. Ass poke out just fatter.